Jude 3 says, Beloved, when I gave all diligence to write unto you of the common salvation, it was needful for me to write unto you and exhort you that you should earnestly contend for the faith, which was once delivered unto the saints. He said, I just wanted to talk to you about just plain old salvation. But because of what's going on in your midst, I decided that instead of talking to you about salvation, that I would tell you to contend for your faith. Contend for the place that you are. Contend for the stance that you have taken in your belief system concerning God. And you are standing in a belief system depending upon who led you there. That's the reason in this season it is imperative that we're under good, solid leadership. Somebody say leadership is everything. Remember, just as a review, when we look at the word contend, we're dealing with several words. The word strive, the word war. It means to see opposition and continue on anyway. Many people have a good talk and they have a good faith walk as long as their faith is not challenged. But the truth of the matter is, true faith is not faith until it is challenged. And if you are being challenged right now, it could be that your faith has made such an impression on the devil that he's doing everything he can to move you and shake you and rock your world till you begin to see something different and say something different, which will cause you to shift. And God says, I have not put you in a place of going backwards, but of going forward. Look at your neighbor, say, we've got to keep this place of faith. The Lord said several things to me this past Sunday. I was in Asheville, and I think he said it the week before, but he gave me two words that's important. It keeps ringing in my spirit. He gave me the word position, and he gave me the word experience. It is imperative that we understand that the word position simply means there is a place that has been prepared for me beforehand for me to walk in peace, for me to walk in prosperity, and for me to walk in victory. John 14:1, the Bible says, let not your heart be troubled. If you believe in God, believe also in me. For in my Father's house, there are many mansions. There are many realms of abode. There are many realms of authority, places that I have put in position for you to ascend to, so that when trouble comes, it won't trouble you, but you will trouble your troubles. I don't think you're hearing me. And then he goes on in Psalms 91 and says this, he that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty, which simply says that we've got to access these abiding places, or we must access these realms of abode, but we must learn how to live there. We can no longer go in and out of realms as far as going down. We must go up into realms of authority that God has prepared for us so that we'll have victory. We are living in a very serious time. I don't know if you recognize it or not, but because we have moved into a consciousness of who we are and moved into a consciousness of the fact that we are both apostolic, prophetic people, then we've got to understand that God has placed us in regions. He has placed us in cities, and he has placed us in communities in order for us to take those territories for him. Whether you recognize it or not, you are marked men and women. Look at your neighbor and say, whether you recognize it or not, you are marked. And the marking that you have upon you is a marking that has been branding you for years. The more you sit up under the word, the more God is branding your thoughts, branding your mindset, and you're branded because you're walking it out. Think about it. Nothing really came against you as much as it's coming against you now, until you said, you know what, I believe this stuff that's being taught to me, so much so that I'm going to do it. When you started to do what you heard, then all hell started breaking loose against you. It's not so much you as it is the branding that's on you. Look at your neighbor and say, neighbor, you are a